So you guys were I'm hearing all you guys wanted the theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. Crazycatlady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair educational for and entertainment purpose. It's like it's all they did. Well, those years ago. See? No, I don't want to do any more of it. Hi everyone, Martha here. So we got another good show that started this last year that I did not hear about until this year. So if I'm doing this late, I am sorry. I did not know this show existed until I heard that two of my people I watched reviewed it. So they didn't spoil too much for me, luckily. I was able to watch it and have fun with it. And what show is this? This is called Blue Eye Samurai. So, this takes place during the mid-1600s, okay? Right when it's against the law for Britain, for white people to be in Japan, because Japan was stubborn. Japan took the longest for it to be industrialized by other countries. And they still had samurais. They had still samurais then. And when 4 people from Britain came in, and so we got spoilers ahead, and had a kid. One of them had a kid with a Japanese mom, a Japanese woman, and maid, Miso. Now, she's a lot like Mulan, except for she's Japanese, who goes around pretending to be a man to do like revenge and fight, but it's like in reverse because she did it to like protect her father's honor. But to me, she's supposed to pretend to be a woman, pretend to be a man. And you also got like a woman. You also got a princess that's kind of like Jasmine. If you like know the real version of Aladdin, you know that it's from Japanese. You know it's from China, so or Japanese. So. And the fact that she doesn't want to be a princess, that's all she reminds me of Jasmine. She goes, so, and we also have a bully who learns to respect the one that he bullied in here too. And then we have a guy who has no hands who can help around too. Most of this show has talk about people who are disabled. We have a person who has no hands, who was born with no hands, a guy that is blind, and a girl who is deaf and mute. And they're all in this show. It's like showing, like, that disabled people can be useful too, and they are people too. And that's what I liked about this show, the fact that they even showed that disabled people can be helpful. So, what is this show about? It's about a girl, which during like the first episode that you find out at the beginning of that episode that she's a girl, but she's played by a girl, and the girl who's playing her does not do a good job disguising her voice. So, yeah. And me being a girl myself, I know what a girl's voice sounds like. Not very good at this because you look like a guy and you're acting like a guy does not mean you're a guy. It's called a cover. I watched Game of Thrones recently. You're similar to Arya too. So when a girl has to pretend to be a man in order to get a thing done, in order to serve a purpose, she'll do it. And Misu didn't always want to do this because for one episode she was actually being a woman, being a wife, until sadly a person pretending to be her mom, who was actually a maid, ratted her out because since she's half British and half Japanese, she nobody wants her around. They call her a demon, and so and most of them think that she's a man because her mom told her that she has to pretend to be a a boy in order to survive. And she gets her mom killed, but then she thinks that her mom's still alive, but she finds out later that was a maid that's pretending to be her mom. So, and that was my favorite episodes when they were showing how a phoenix becomes a demon, and you find out that's Misu. And it's just basically like a little play that they're playing out how they did back then, and I like. And also when we have an episode that's kind of like you ever seen Karate Kid, where we have the guy from Johnny Tsunami playing and the very first version of Mortal Kombat, the black guy from that one on here playing her mentor. His name's Swordsman on here, and he trains her how to be a blacksmith. And she like explains to him when she gets old enough to leave that and he's blind, so he did not know that he knew that she was a woman and was a half-breed. So, and he did not care. And she tries to tell him that her secrets, but he doesn't care. And he like tells her, "You cannot leave. You'll die trying to get revenge." And she still goes. After she makes a sword out of a meteor. So kind of like Avatar too. Like, you remember when Sokka made a sword out of a meteor? That's pretty cool. So then that's what that part reminded me of. I know it has a lot of similarities from other show, but what show does it nowadays? But I still love this show. I just want to point out the similarities because I see some. And the reason why I think of Karate Kid, because he keeps on telling her to like make stuff for him, like go and get me like soup, tea, and stuff like that. She goes and makes it. It's kind of like reminds me of Daniel and Mr. Miyagi, where he tells him to wash his car, clean his fence, clean his yard, in order for him to like learn how to do karate. So yeah. It kind of reminds me of that, because just like doing sword fighting, blacksmith takes discipline. So yeah. And the very first episode, when we meet Roland, who is the guy with no hands, who wants to make noodles for his dad, but his dad's a very mean father. And Misu goes and says, "If I say any name wrong in this show, I'm sorry. These are Japanese names. I'm not Japanese. I am sorry." This is me apologizing. So I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Okay? I just love this, even though I'm not from that world. I love that world's art. I love that world's story. That's why I like that's why I like anime. And even though this is not anime, if it is, I love it even more. I think it's, since it's from Netflix, it's like Avatar, where it's restaurant making stuff based off of other people. But I still love it. So she goes and tries to find one of her maybe's dads, because she didn't know who her dad is. His name is Fowler, who is played by Lockhart from Harry Potter. So, like, when I looked up, like I usually do, I always look up who voices who afterwards, and sometimes I know the voice, because I knew the swordsman was somebody I knew. And I know that the guy who protects the princess was somebody I knew, which was one of the people who was from Star Trek, who was still alive. There's two people from Star Trek that's still alive, and that's this guy and um, Captain Kirk. So I don't know. My mom was more into Star Trek than me, but I knew this voice. Like, yay! So yeah, and he's really the princess's real father, because her real father wanted to sell her to be somebody's husband that he was gonna kill and be the new leader of like the new kingdom, like the new dynasty. Because back then they had different dynasties back then, and who ruled Japan. So, and he wanted to be the new dynasty, basically the new ruler. And if he got rid of Showman, he would be able to. He would be able to be the new leader. And he was the one that brought guns in Japan, even though it was against the law for them to bring white men, because guns were not there before. If you know, like if you watch like Inuyasha, you would know that Inuyasha didn't really have guns in it because it was before guns came to Japan, and basically Britain brought guns in Japan. It's they already had weapons there, so. And a lot of times in the show, we had to tear. I was always like having to watch. Oh, you brought a sword to a gunfight. What's gonna win? So yeah, and by the time the end of the show, when it happens, because Misu has to go fight Fowler twice in this show. Mostly the entire time he's like having assassins coming to get him after he goes through the brother of the guy who brought him here. But the brother regrets it because he doesn't like him. And he's trying to get him in there, but mostly Misu just listens to what he's talking about while the bully is there, who recently that he dishonored by defeating him in a battle, but by cutting his hair. Now, if you know, that is not exactly a good thing to do. You do not cut somebody's hair, okay? You don't do that in Japan, right? There's a reason why, and because it changes who you are. There's a reason why in Kingdom Hearts and Avatar, both Riku and Zuko cut their hair. So, because they're now a new person. So, and the bully was not ready to change. He was wanting to marry the princess, and he was going to be able to marry her until he got his hair cut, until he got defeated. So, yeah. And so he has to go and find Misu and beat him, and this whole entire time, Misu is refusing to fight him, and he has to help him. Because Misu loses a lot of fights in this show. So, and they have to fight with each other in order for him to fight his old adversary again. And they like wrestle with each other and stuff like that for the entire time. While Misu sold after the princess ran after her fiance against her father's will, because she was gonna marry Chosen, because her dad wanted to use her, like I said. So she went after her, the one that she actually liked, and she goes into size with brothel and finds a bunch of whores that she learns to love and learns to be her family, because of the Lee whore was nice to a woman who was blind and it was deaf and a mute. So, and she was not letting her be touched, but instead somebody picked her to be their new bride, and not let her. And so Misu went to go and take her out of her misery, basically, after she showed her the sign of love and sign language. So after that, they find out who killed him. That she killed her. So all the guys who were having claws with Wolverine stuff. And I know I'm saying some of the stuff's out of order, but you know me, I can never say anything not in order, because things just come to mind right away. So she ends up being with them, and Roland and the princess help her. But since she's on a road to revenge, she lets the princess get taken back to the guys she doesn't want to marry. And after she fails to kill Roland, after she goes into water, and Roland ends up saving her. Okay, Fowler. She tries to kill Fowler, and Roland saves her and takes her back to Swordmaster. And those two meet each other, and they respect each other because both of them are disabled and are trying to do stuff, try to be great, and even though they have disabilities, and not letting their disabilities hold them back. So those two have a lot, and those two are really become good friends here. And yeah, and once Misu heals, and so does the bully, they go. She tells the bully that her the princess is in danger, and he waits until then to do this, and so he's gonna go back to be a good samurai and go back and protect the princess. And so they had to let's get down to business to defeat the British. And they do that, and they did beat the British by using fire, because remember, she's a phoenix. She's fire. And she was out to kill him after the princess, bully, and Roland get out of there, because they both went in. All three of them went in there, even though Misu told them not to. And the guy from Star Trek ends up saving the princess and being a really good dad, and real good. And Roland ends up waiting for them for a while, but he goes back to the swordsman and says, I waited, and the reason why she did not kill Fowler, she lets Fowler and lets her know that I might know where your dad is, when your true dad is, because she killed Violet already. I think Violet was one of the 4 men that were sent to kill her. So yeah, and she says that one of the other 2 men are in London, and she does not know this word. So, because she says, he says, I know this magic world that you might want to learn. London. So, yeah. And she goes on a boat with Fowler back to London. So that's when, I'm guessing that's when season 2 will start, with her being in London, looking for her other 2 dads. So, yeah. Did I like this show? Yes, it had really good music, a lot of songs I knew, and I liked the animation, and, you know, I love animation, but I love also proving people that animation's not for kids, and this show is definitely not for kids. It's too bloody, it has a lot of nudity, there's a lot of cuss words in it, but I just love it for the art and stuff like that. And I love a good samurai show. Who doesn't? So yeah. So if you guys want to go watch it on Netflix, it's really good. So yeah. So like here and subscribe, guys. I don't know what show I'm gonna watch next, but whichever which one it is, I hope it's a good one. Bye bye.